Before we get started, I have a quick favor. I've been self-funding the Finding Genius podcast for 5 years now. I've done over 3,000 episodes. And as you can see on YouTube, we're up over 1 million views on the channel, which is fantastic. The next thing I really want to push on is to get up to 10,000 subscribers. Because once we do, we'll be able to put a donate button and we'll be able to solicit donations to help keep the podcast running and to also get the Finding Genius Foundation moving along. We have a big project studying anxiety, depression, and PTSD and working on a product to help people overcome these problems because I've seen them explode recently after the last 2 years of the whole virus situation. So if you would, please subscribe to the podcast. That would help us tremendously. Give us a thumbs up and check in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. It's about $5. If you could buy me a coffee, I'd really appreciate it. It would help keep the channel going, and I love coffee. Thank you.
Forget frequently asked questions,
common sense, common knowledge, or Google.
How about advice from a real genius? 95% of people in any profession are good enough to be qualified and licensed. 5%
go above and beyond.
They become very good at what they do, but only
0.1%
are real geniuses. Richard Jacobs has made it his life's mission to find them for you. He hunts down and interviews geniuses in every field: sleep science, cancer, stem cells, ketogenic diets, and more. Here come the geniuses. This is the Finding Genius Podcast
with Richard Jacobs.
Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with the Finding Genius podcast. My guest today is Dr. Nayan Patel. He's a clinical pharmacist, educator, founder of Central Drugs Compounding Pharmacy. We're going to talk in particular about glutathione, the Glutathione Revolution, Fight Disease, Slow Aging, and Increase Energy book that's come out. So welcome, Nayan. Thank you for coming.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, right off the bat, surprised that someone that's a pharmacist would, I guess, be doing anything outside of a pharmacy. And I'm just used to the ones at like Walgreens, CVS, that are miserable wretches that just give you drugs. It seems to say nothing, No offense. But tell me a bit about your background. Like what led you to pharmacy and then what led you to essentially go beyond it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, pharmacy was something that was very early on. I was good at organic chemistry, and my professor thought that I'll be good at designing new medication. I didn't know what that meant. So I joined the pharmacy school, but the pharmacy school was all about teaching what medications have already been approved and what has been used in the marketplace. So I didn't pay attention at that time, but when I graduated, I found out that the medications that were available were not actually going to solve any problems. They're just going to maintain the problem for the rest of your life. So if you take the medications for the rest of your life and never have to change anything, but nobody's going to solve any problem. That was something that did not sit well with me early on. But I had no money. I had nothing else. I had student loans. So I went with the flow and did what everybody else did, work in a pharmacy, fill prescriptions, and make the ends meet, so to speak. But I quickly started compounding business and of course, hoping that I'll make money faster so that I can pursue my passion. And it didn't work out that way. But the whole purpose at that time was to find something that our body already has and see if I can improve that to increase our lifespan, health span, remove diseases that causes all sorts of end-stage diseases that includes autoimmune cancers, heart disease, all those things, right? There has to be a common link. And that common link to me was found out that was going to be glutathione. And that's why I spent all my life basically studying glutathione and trying to figure out how we can make this a product or make it something that we can enhance it inside our body.
Why that? What attracted you to glutathione? Like, I looked them on your radar in the first place.
Well, the glutathione is the only molecule. Well, glutathione is basically the most abundant molecule produced in the human body. And that was one of the things that, hey, why does body produce so much in first? It has to be a purpose behind it. And we have known this for 140 years that the number one molecule produced in humans is glutathione, but nobody's ever figured out all the benefits of glutathione. So we do know quite a bit, but not everything about it yet. And so in the little that we do know about this thing is that it is a master antioxidant. It reduces oxidative stress, and the number one cause of death in the whole world, if you look at all the diseases that causes for the reason people die, every one of them is linked to oxidative stress. Every one of them. Autoimmune, cancers, heart disease, metabolic disorder, infections. I mean, everything leads to oxidative stress. And so I said, well, if we need an antioxidant and the body produces glutathione abundantly, then our job is to make sure that that level is always high enough to meet up all the demands. And if it does not, it leads to diseases that leads to death. And the only way we can increase lifespan or health span or whatever is if we don't die. And so the cause cause of death is what I was looking at. Say, hey, if this is the cause of death, if I can remove the cause of death, then we can officially or unofficially or theoretically live long. And that was my whole focus of working on this one molecule.
Okay. And glutathione, as I understand it, is produced by the liver or other tissues as well?
It is produced by the mitochondria. It's the most abundantly found in liver. And in the liver, it's funny that you asked me about the liver part, because one of the functions for glutathione abound beyond reducing oxidative stress or work as an antioxidant. It's also master conjugator, which helps you detoxify chemicals outside your liver. So it basically gets rid of all the chemical junk that you accumulate throughout the day and gets rid of it. And everything is processed through the liver. I mean, by the time you wake up and leave your house in the first hour or so, you're exposing your body to at least 70 different chemicals, at least. And so every single day, by the end of the day, you're exposing yourself to 300 to 400 different chemicals every single day that your liver has to process. And so the concentration of glutathione is the highest in the liver, is to make sure that it can help you get rid of all these chemicals outside your body.
What happens to people that have metabolic disease like diabetes? How does that impact glutathione production, or people that have fatty liver, NAFLD, cirrhosis, those kinds of things? What happens to them?
So it does not affect the production of glutathione, but what it does, it basically, your needs are so high that your body is not able to keep up with the demand. So I can give you a simple example right there, right? So when you first started your career, $5,000 a month, you can survive very, 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 very nice, right? So if you get $5,000 a month every single month, and for 5 years later on, you have no savings, but now something's changed. 5 years later, your needs may have increased. Maybe you got a bigger house, or maybe you got to replace a car, or replace this, or replace that, whatever that is, right? So now your expenses have gone up to $6,000 a month, and then eventually your expenses goes up to even higher, maybe $8,000 or $10,000 a month. But your ability to make money may not increase from 5 to 10. And as you start getting older, your ability to make money may also reduce. The same thing happens in the body too. When you're young, when you're 20, 25 years old, 30 years old, your need for glutathione are there, and your body's able to keep up with the demand. Even if you drink alcohol, which depletes the glutathione levels to zero for the next 4 hours after even one drink of alcohol.
Oh, really?
But yeah, absolutely. But you recuperate right away. When you drink like at 20 years old, you wake up in the morning like nothing ever happened to you. And he goes, oh, this was easy.
Oh, yeah, that changed.
Eventually it's going to catch up to you, right? You know that, right? And so as you start getting older, your body's ability to produce glutathione reduces. Your needs does not change, right? Your needs does not change. When you get older, you can downsize in your house and your cars and every single thing. You downsize that part. But for the human body, there's no downsize. Your need stays the constant, and in some cases even increases, because guess what? If the glutathione was not met, it was not produced enough, you caught diseases. The diseases now needs more glutathione in the first place.
Well, it's funny. I keep thinking of this drinking example. What would happen if you made a cocktail with like a shot of glutathione, and so that you're producing none, but you're ingesting it while you're drinking alcohol? Would that prevent you from being hungover, perhaps?
Oh, absolutely. We have seen this plenty of times, right? That having glutathione on board before you start drinking, even after you stop drinking 3 or 4 hours later, it should process the alcohol out of your liver immediately. You're buzzing like crazy because the glutathione actually neutralizes the alcohol and converts into acetaldehyde, which is neurotoxic. And that's where the buzz comes in from there. And you're so incapacitated, you cannot drive or operate heavy machineries, but your alcohol is outside your liver. So now the acetaldehyde has a short life in your body, and the body clears it out by the morning. There should not be any hangover. But now, if you do have something, like everybody, if you are 55 and 60s of age, even 3 or 4 drinks of alcohol can still keep your head heavy even in the morning. And again, as soon as you wake up, take some more glutathione, and boom, within half an hour to an hour, you are ready to go for the.
Okay. So what's your protocol for yourself? Like, do you dose yourself with it? How much a day? And what do you notice?
So you mentioned in the introduction that I'm a Central Drugs Compounding Pharmacy, and I do my compounding pharmacy, all those things. But I have moved on to my research when we discovered glutathione, how it's been effectively introduced to the human body. We found a technology to deliver glutathione intracellularly for the first time. Even the intravenous form of glutathione, even if you inject into your vein, it does not enter your blood cells. And we have known that since 1991. But the thing is, there was nothing else available. And so I have, even though I'm a compounding pharmacy and I do have a pharmacy in every single thing, all my work is at a research facility that we have. It's under Auro Pharmaceuticals or Auro Wellness, ARO Wellness. In there, we have developed a technology to deliver glutathione topically through your skin, right? We have 8 patents on that one. And so
you're using like DMSO or something to make it go through the skin?
Oh, no DMSO, no liposomes, nothing. There's a brand new technology, first in the world. We have worldwide patents on it. We are using dextrins, which is a bunch of sugar molecules to do 2 things. Skin is a physical barrier, and we had to reduce the particle size of glutathione by 80 folds. We did that part, and so we get to the skin very easily. Now, the second part, which is even more challenging, is your cell membrane is a chemical barrier, and that size does not matter. It's like a lock and key. And so I had to find the right key to open the lock. And once the cell membrane opens up to accept the glutathione, what we did was we used sugars, a different sugar molecule that basically works as a carbohydrate, but it does not increase the sugar levels body. Inside, we embedded glutathione like a Trojan horse, and so the cell membrane accepts the sugars. Inside there's glutathione, and that's how we deliver the glutathione inside your body. And when we did that part, it was so easy and simple. I said, oh my God, this is ridiculously fast how it gets inside your cell. And once you get inside your cell, from cell to cell, there's a communication called lipid rafts, and you use the lipid rafts to communicate from cell to cell. So even if you apply it on your arms or your belly, within seconds, it's inside your brain, inside your liver, everywhere. And so the absorption is really, really fast. It gets it to body really, really fast. And by doing so, if it gets intracellularly, our needs are actually very, very small. We don't need big doses of IV shot or big cocktails of glutathione to get the results. A small amount applied topically can have more impact than a big dose of IV infusion of glutathione.
Okay. So what are some levels that you've taken or you've seen people take, the elevated levels of it? What are the effects?
Okay. So when you look at the effect, you're trying to identify what symptoms people have because of oxidative stress. And if you just put your favorite search engine or your AI robot, symptoms associated with oxidative stress, you'll probably get about 1,000 of them, from headaches to sleep disturbances to stomach cramps to, all kinds of things, right? Infection. As I said, it is linked to each and every disease known to mankind. So the symptoms could be endless. But then when you take glutathione, what people are going to experience, the results of it is so different from everybody else that I can't even mention all the things that people have noticed. Now, on my website, I have a whole bunch of testimonials that people have claimed when people say that my eye floaters went away. Really, I don't expect the eye floaters to go with glutathione, but this is
what? Oh, floaters.
Motors in your eye. And this is one of the optometrists who was a customer of ours. And within 30 days, his eye floaters goes away. He was shocked to even see that price. I've never seen anything that goes.
You literally didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah. And so something like this, I can't even predict those things. The most common thing that people notice is, first thing, the energy level goes up high because glutathione can spare your ATP production in your mitochondria. And so more ATP is more energy. So that's very common. People notice that part. Most common people see that, hey, when the ATP production goes up higher or the level goes up higher, you in fact sleep better at nighttime too. So people have said that, hey, I sleep better. My energy has gone up higher. My joints are not achy anymore. My inflammation has gone down. Now, just want to be full disclosure, glutathione does not do any of those things. What glutathione actually does, it allows your body to heal on its own. And that's what the beauty of it. When you take a medicine, you expect the medicine to do something for you. But glutathione, what it does really is that it is empowering your own body to fight your own problems. You and I, we cannot diagnose all the problems our body has. We really cannot. The body can diagnose all the problems God, and the body knows what to fix and where to fix and what to fight first. And so by giving glutathione, your body is actually healing from inside on its own, and we are not doing anything. We are just supplying the ammunition that the body.
Okay. So what indications would suggest someone should use it?
So the indications to me is little bit on the other side. What does that mean? That by the time you need glutathione, you're far gone because your body have given you symptoms. If you ignore the symptoms, and now you're in a disease. When you're in a disease state, your needs are extremely high, and then you're gonna need glutathione for the rest of your life. And the disease, as I mentioned earlier, all of those, right? Metabolic disorders, cancers, heart disease, cholesterol infections, disorders and neurological disorders, all of this are need for glutathione. Those customers, their needs are extremely high. The idea behind glutathione is, I want people to think about is that, hey, use glutathione, enhance the levels of glutathione, and help your body fight with those issues early on so you don't get those diseases or you delay the onset of this. That's the whole idea. And by the way, if your body can produce enough glutathione, the better question is that, hey, what can I do to improve the glutathione levels naturally without any medication? That's the best way to do it, right?
Well, as people age, how much does their glutathione production go down? Like, what are the major factors besides age or including age that determine it?
So age is, well, the people in the 60s and 70s, they have normal glutathione levels as well, right? Those people are extremely rare, but there are people out there with normal glutathione levels. So now the question is, because what depletes glutathione, right? Exposure to toxic chemicals, exposure to pollution, smoking, alcohol. People have modern day conveniences, the Wi-Fi systems that we exposed to all the time. There's all this thing, drinking water from plastic containers, the foams, and besides glasses and stainless steel can also increase the toxicity. What needs the glutathione pretty high. So that's one thing that depletes glutathione level. The second thing is overexposure to sun. Sun can also deplete glutathione level. And so if you can protect your body from exposing yourself to chemicals, pollution, toxicity, and excessive sun, there you can reduce the elimination of glutathione. The question is, what do we need to make glutathione? We need 3 amino acids, glycine, glutamine, and cysteine. We need 2 enzymes to conjugate those 3 amino acids. We need 2 molecules of AT and 1 molecule of NAD. So your body produces enough ATP. So from the outside sources, you only need to consume food that is rich in glycine, glutamine, and cysteine. Now, I'll tell you, glycine and glutamine is very easily found in most of the people's diet. What's not found in everybody's diet is cysteine. Cysteine is one of those stinky foods that people don't like to eat all the time. And so that is something that you consciously have to make an effort to eat those foods. So if you just put in a favorite search engine again, cysteine-rich foods, you can get your list of your vegan, your vegetarians, your omnivores, carnivores, your paleo diets. Everybody is going to have some choices. Make sure you have the cysteine-rich foods in your diet every single day.
What about homocysteine? Like, what are the different kinds of cysteine? I've heard of homocysteine. I know there's sometimes there's chirality involved, left and right-handed molecules.
So homocysteine is one of the blood tests that we test, and it's a defense system that kicks in our body. That's what we assume. So with the homocysteine levels are high in your body, that means the body is sensing a problem or an oxidative stress is increasing in your body. So it is increasing homocysteine in the hopes that the body will produce more glutathione, right? But it's an indicative of inflammation, indication of oxidative stress, indication that your body to produce more glutathione. Now, if you take glutathione exogenously from outside the body, like in a topical form, topical spray form that we have, then your homocysteine levels will drop because the needs will be satisfied. And all of a sudden, when the needs are satisfied, your levels will drop. And the level drops, that means your inflammation has gone down, your need for high levels of glutathione has gone down temporarily, and then you should feel better by that.
Okay. Is glutathione produced 24/7 or in response to light or during sleep? When does it spike or trough?
It is produced all the time. It's on demand, right? It is not a stimulus package where it's not like a hormone that your body produces twice a day based on the pituitary responses to the gonads, right? That's how the hormones are produced. When it comes to the glutathione, it is produced by on an as needed basis. So if you drink alcohol, your levels will drop instantaneously, and it take about 3 or 4 hours for the body to sense it, and right away you'll start producing more glutathione for you. So it's producing all the time whenever we need it. It's a tripeptide, right? It's a 3 amino acid chain peptide. So it's a very simple form of peptide that body produces naturally, and it doesn't require stimulus. It just requires amino acids. As long as we have all the building blocks, the body can produce. Once it's produced, it stays in the body for 8 to 12 hours if it doesn't get used up. And if it gets used up, for example, as an antioxidant to reduce the free radicals that are caused by sun rays, the body will actually recycle the glutathione back to using again. So you don't lose it. So whatever your body produces, you don't destroy everything in this process. It has a way to recycle almost 40 to 50% of the glutathione that we produce naturally. This is in healthy human beings.
So what would be better? What if I get all the precursors, the 3 amino acids, and I can't get everything, but I get as many of the precursors as I could. I took that versus just supplementing directly with glutathione. Which one? How would they affect me?
So supplement directly with glutathione, as I said earlier, no product in the world exists today that your body absorbs glutathione, except the one that we are creating right now. Let's just keep that one aside.
Until there's liquid like gel cap stuff, vitamins that they sell. So is that just garbage or what is it?
Well, the thing is, what the body does is it will break it down. All glutathione products in the world, the body will actually break it down into 3 amino acids and reabsorb the amino acids back into the bloodstream and use that to make your own glutathione. So all of that.
So it'll work, but it goes to multiple big acids.
Including the intravenous form of glutathione as well. When you go to IV bars, local IV bars that sells glutathione IV drips all the time, the body actually breaks it down into amino acids. Cysteine gets reabsorbed, and cysteine is being used to produce your own glutathione. So what you said earlier is that what if I just took precursor? There's your answer, right? FDA is actually only approved precursor as the only approved as a medicine to increase glutathione levels since the 60s. The brand name is called Mucomyst, and that is actually a drug available at the hospitals to improve glutathione levels in your body. Now, there's one issue in that one too, and that issue we just found out about 15 years ago, because 15 years ago we started doing gene test for everybody. When we started doing gene testing, what we found out was there's a small subset of people that actually, when they have the gene mutation happens later on in their life, they lose the ability to produce glutathione. And if that happens to you, the hell breaks loose. Within 2 to 3 years, you have no idea what had just happened, and within 2 or 3 years, you develop all kinds of diseases, and the rest as you say, is what becomes now it's the end stage for you. And so that is something that we are just finding out right now. So a lot of people, there's gene mutations called GSTM or GGT or GSTM, GGT, GST, and so all these gene mutations, your body cannot conjugate and use a cysteine to make your own glutathione, and that can be easily tested now with a swab in your cheek and find out if you have a gene mutation. Now, please do not, if you have that gene mutation, don't assume that your body cannot produce glutathione, because gene mutation, even if you have it, it has to be expressing those gene mutations. So that way, that's the only time it works against you. Like, for example, if you do a gene testing and let's see if a gene for breast cancer, doesn't mean you have breast cancer. That only means that you have the potency or your tendency that you might get breast cancer, right? For the female, but that doesn't mean, but you don't have breast cancer at this point yet. So if you have all this GSTM or GGT or GST, all those gene mutations, doesn't mean that your body is not producing glutathione. That means if the conditions are right, the body will stop producing your own glutathione one day. Okay, so that's what you're finding out today. So there's a certain subset of people that they have to be taking products that can be absorbed into the human body. Otherwise, they will die really, really fast, right? Now, the other one, which is very common, which is MTHFR gene mutations or COMT, those patients, and those are very, very, very common, right? And usually about the age 40, 50, they start expressing those gene mutations. In those cases, the body can actually produce enough glutathione, but your needs have literally doubled or tripled overnight. And when that happens, it's like if let's say if it's making $10,000 a month to survive on, and now your needs instead of $10,000 a month now is going to $30,000 a month. You cannot work fast enough to make that kind of money, right? The same thing happened to the body.
So a quick question here: how often are gene mutations supposedly the reason when it's actually epigenetic change, methylation, histone deacetylation?
When does it change?
How often is the problem blamed on gene mutation when perhaps instead it was simply epigenetic effect over time? Methylation.
Yeah, it is usually always epigenetic times. It is usually always the case. But thing is, we do not know when that's going to happen, right? So let's say you do a testing and you have this gene that there's a tendency that you may have MTHFR, but you're not expressing anything right now. You're fine right now. And over time, mutations may kick in, and then this gene starts expressing itself. And when it expresses itself, that's when you start having issues with methylation and issues with detoxification, right? But we don't know when that's going to happen. I really do not know when that's going to happen. But if it does happen, then the issue with MTHFR is that you just take methylated products and you're fine, right? But even with that, sometimes your needs for glutathione increases so much higher, because if the methylation is not enough to detoxify your body, the glutathione aids the liver to detoxify all those chemicals outside your body as well. So your need for glutathione increases at that point.
Right. So you've developed this way of using dextrins, like you said, to get the glutathione into you where it'll actually be absorbed cells. So is the product clinically available? Like what state is it in right now?
So the product was developed in 2007. It was developed in 2007, and within 6 months, I took it off the market right away because we could not figure out how much to give. Because I was looking at the research, and intravenously, people were giving anywhere from 1 gram to up to 10 grams of IV push. And liposome and all those technology products that were available in the marketplace were giving 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams 2 or 3 times a day. So I said, hey, topically, I should be able to do 500 milligrams as well and should not have any issues. As soon as I did the 500 milligrams of topical glutathione, we had all kinds of concerns, people having diarrhea and headaches and fatigue and rashes. I said, what's going on? I couldn't figure out. And so we stopped selling the product completely. We started doing research on what to do with this molecule, and we scoured the whole internet, the whole world, and there was nothing published about this one. So, of course, we had to file for patent application right away. But more importantly, what we started doing, we started doing clinical trials on it, trying to figure out how much to give you, how often to give you, how long can I give it to you, what kind of results am I going to get. So it took me about 14 years of research, and we released the product in 2021 in the market. And so we released the product in 2021. It's available OTC on aurowellness.com website right now. And in 2022, we released the stronger version of the same product as well, because a lot of people say more is better. If less is good, more is better. I explain why. My research that I've done is all on the lower concentration product, but I have too many people asking me with too much money what's the higher concentration product. So we made the plus version as well that we launched in 2020.
Well, did you figure out, was it just too much, or what was going on? Why the effect?
It was too much. The dose we found out was the most cost-effective dose was about 100 milligrams twice a day. That's it. Even at 100 milligrams.
Cost-effective or efficacious?
Both efficacious and cost-effective. Now, just keep in mind, there are still a lot of people, they can't even take 100 milligrams. They can't take 50 milligrams sometimes. And so for a lot of people, they have a lot of toxicities in them. We tighten them up from 25 milligrams, which is 1 spray twice a day, to 2 sprays twice a day. And slowly over 3 to 7 days, we tighten them up to 100 milligrams twice a day. Now, these are for healthy human beings with no diseases. If you have some diseases, of course, your needs are pretty high initially. And so what we say that, hey, tighten up to 4 sprays twice a day, or you may go up to 7 sprays twice a day, and then switch over to the stronger version for about 3 to 6 months, up to a year maximum. Like you mentioned, the case about fatty liver disease, those people have very high needs of glutathione for long periods of time. And so they may take a higher dose version for 6 months to a year sometime. And once everything goes back to normal, they switch back to the lower concentration product and use as for mate. But if you have no diseases, then ideally you won't need anything more than the regular version of the glutarol.
So people notice what? They have more energy? Is there a relief of certain symptoms that they experience?
As I said, energy is the number one thing, because it's glutathione is an ATP sparing molecule. So your ATP level goes up in your body. So it's not a caffeine energy. It's just you just feel good because your energy levels are high. And it's hard to explain that, but it's just people just feel good right away. Better with sleep. A lot of issues with the sleep, because the highest amount of oxidative stress in your body is in your brain. The second is liver. The first is brain. And so when you have oxidative stress is high in the brain, people have brain fog, people have poor sleep patterns. So that gets improved pretty fast. Well, then the people have joint pains, and it's not an anti-inflammatory by all means, but glutathione also aids in the process of improving your own immune system. And so if the joint pains could be because of some sort of injury, and so that seems to get improved pretty fast as well. And the rest of the symptoms, as I said, there's so many different things. I mean, the people have called us about it, like as I said, about the guy with the eye floaters, the weird autistic kids. They were singing better. Of course, this is not to make you sing better, but when you detoxify your body, your brain clears up, then you have other things to do in life as well. So if anybody has questions. I mean, they should read all the testimonials they have on the website. It's just way too many to talk about those kinds of.
Sure, that's great. Have you found certain ratios of the precursors work better? Like, have you figured out the recipe, not just the precursors? Is it like 2-to-1 cysteine to glycine to that kind of thing?
Just cysteine. So as you get older, your body tend to retain a lot of glutamine in the brain. So never take glutamine. Glycine, it's okay to take glycine as well. So you can take glycine and cysteine combination. That's okay too. But if you just take cysteine by itself, 99% of the time you'll be okay. And cysteine is cheap, right? There's no brand product that you need to buy. Cysteine is a cheap amino acid. Enjoy it. Take some cheap amino acids. You'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. Where can people get the product then? Where should they go?
Oh, it's aurowellness.com. It's spelled AURO wellness.com. As glutathione is so profound on helping the body from inside out for the antioxidant benefit, we also created the same product, same technology for skincare for everybody else to use it as well. Skincare is a whole different animal, but we have a oral skincare as well. But Auro Wellness is where I reside most of the time. If you haven't read my book, The Glutathione Revolution, it's available in every single thing, like digital format, audibles, almost like $2 or $3. I think people should at least enjoy the stories that I have collected over the last 15 years on how it helped other people as well. So yeah, get the product, enjoy it for 30 days. And after that, if your body needs glutathione, you will see the results in the first 30 days.
Yeah, actually, one last question.
Yeah.
Since you were a pharmacist, I've never once heard a pharmacist talk about drug-induced nutrient depletion. Like, for example, metformin. My wife took it a while back, getting really tired. I looked it up. I see it depletes B12. So I tell the doctor, he goes, oh yeah, that's right. Thanks, buddy. So I get B12 supplement for her and she feels better, It might be interesting if you looked at the use of various drugs long-term and see which ones in particular, chronically deplete glutathione, because then it kind of marries your solution to the pharmacological end of things, and they can be given together so people get better results from certain drugs.
Yeah, it's more than the drugs. What depletes the glutathione levels is the disease itself. Well, you just mentioned diabetes. So my father had diabetes for almost 40 plus years, right? He was taking like 3 or 4 different medications for diabetes. And after about a few years of glutathione itself, he's down to just one product, which is metformin. That's it. And his diabetes never went, his A1C level never went up more than 5.4. After the age of 80, from 80 to 89, he was no longer diabetic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
it's 89. That's very unusual.
It's very unusual, right? At the age of 80, so 70, he started using the glutathione from me. He was my patient number one, N of one. Like, when you cannot find guinea pigs, you give to your family. That's what I did in 2007 and 8. As I gave it to my dad, and he was my patient number one. So after 2 or 3 years, he started noticing all these changes. He had arthritis for 35 plus years, arthritis. And at the age of 84, he did double knee replacement because it was so deformed that he couldn't walk properly. Double knee replacement. And until the age of 89, he walked like anybody's business. He walked 6 miles per day every single day. And he enjoyed his life without having any arthritis or no pain whatsoever. So
that's great.
The body can change, rejuvenate, regenerate. It needs the tools. And once you have a disease, it lacks all those tools it needs because everything is depleted in your body. So more than the medications, it's the disease itself that depletes the glutathione. And it's just not just one disease, it's all of them.
Well, again, through the pharmacy channels, if someone's coming in for a prescription ABC, you can say, that's always given when someone has, this problem. And so glutathione, again, it was the disease that particularly punishes glutathione production or makes it overuse or creates a need. Then again, you could prescribe it in some manner to go along with the medication,
We do. Actually, my number one clients are pharmacy owners because when they saw the results that the glutathiones can give to the patient, better than medications can do, they are literally my biggest evangelists right now. So yeah, the pharmacists are the number one sellers right now for this product.
Sure. And so the best place to get is Auro Wellness, AURO Wellness.com.
Yes. Or we also sell to numerous pharmacies and mostly doctors' offices. We have a bunch of doctors' offices that carry them inside their own office locally.
Okay. Yeah, and I see on the website Glutaro and Glutaro Plus.
Yeah.
Those are the products. Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm a pharmacist. I give a chemical name to a product, just a dumb thing. But you know what? It is where it's right.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, well, very good. Well, Nayan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and for what you've done to help people. That's a really great thing, and I appreciate you being here.
No, appreciate you too, because thanks for taking the time to interview and talk about this thing, because this is my life, and until somebody asks me questions, I can't talk. So thanks for doing.
Yeah, no problem.
If you like this podcast, please click the link in the description to subscribe and review us on iTunes.
You've been listening to the Finding Genius podcast with Richard Jacobs. If you like what you hear, be sure to review and subscribe to the Finding Genius podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And want to be smarter than everybody else? Become a premium member at findinggeniuspodcast.com. This podcast is for information only. No advice of any kind is being given. Any action you take or don't take as a result of listening is your sole responsibility. Consult professionals when advice is needed.